Yeah, we can start the stage at 59, huh? Get a fresh code 420 started. Miss Panda, you can come up on the stage. Give me a moment. I'm gonna load me a code 420 and also allow some other people to get in here. I don't expect it to be crazy big, crazy crowded. National Watermelon Day. That's today. Love me some watermelon. Okay, we can kind of get started. Basically, talking about what we're gonna some changes going into V3. Less of a grind. Main thing. Money not hard to get. Less time grinding out. More time for you guys to do stories, do scenes, do interactions. The drugs, we have changed the way we do drugs. There's 3 different drugs: meth, coke, and weed. There's 6 different types of weed, all of which you can find except for the rare one which sells for the most. We did add the KO Island. This is mainly for harvesting and gathering and sometimes even processing your harder, more valuable drugs. There's no garages on this island. There's no bridge to the island. Hopefully, we get some sort of smuggler RP going in there. Uh, PD have no jurisdiction. EMS have no jurisdiction on that island. If you're going to that island, it's for illegal things. There's gonna be bad people on that island, not NPC wise, but character wise. We still require interactions before anything happens lethal. With that being said, we're a little bit more lenient on shooting. So V2, we weren't allowing people to shoot from cars. V3, you'll be able to shoot from cars. It doesn't mean that you can just roll up to somebody, say, put your hands up or whatever, and then just shoot them down from your car. It's for scenes that progress to that level, or if it's a gang versus gang, they can have vehicle shootouts or vehicle drive-bys. That also doesn't mean that when you go into a police chase, you're just going to shoot the cop from your car. Still want a scene to develop. We still want an actual chase to happen. Just because you're a criminal and you're running from the cops, it's not a go ahead to just shoot down the cop from the car. Also, when you do decide to shoot from the car, you will be forced into first person. Makes shooting from a car a little bit tougher and makes it to where, well, you're going to have somebody in your passenger seat rather than the driver shooting and driving at the same time. Staying on the island topic before we move off of it too far, there are NPCs, 4 or 5 of them, that you can talk to on there to rent a vehicle that you can get around on the island. Because money isn't going to be a grind, those vehicle rentals do cost money and it's a one time fee that you do not get back. So spend it wisely. The whole clothing um, systems changed. We went with a different developer for a whole starting, loading, character, clothing, and all that. It is a picture catalog on the left side of your screen. It still has all the different areas minus the decals, but I actually just found that earlier. So it's that decals section would be under the surgical area. We had the gang flags in the decal area. We switched that to the bag area. It's the same clothing pack that we had from V2. Your wardrobes work. So if you have 10, 15, 16 different outfits that you've saved or however many, not not talking about the clothing bag. We still have the clothing bag. That option's still there. But you can run into your house, run into your apartment, run into a clothing shop, go to the back and easily switch between your outfits. A few things that we got rid of on the PD side was numbers. If PD have any amount of resources, they're allowed to use their resources. So if a store robbery is becoming lethal, whatever PD sees fit, they can bring or use. Gonna be on the same terms of V2 with the PD responding, with lethal force. The MLOs and everything that we have in now is what we're gonna use and stick with. If future gangs come in, gangs will be given a block and a house, which is, basically the same way that we give everybody VIP houses. That allows police to do investigations that lead up into a raid, which, would allow them to open up and break into said property. Drugs you can sell anywhere. I mentioned that most of the expensive stuff is gonna be, acquired on the island, bringing a new element of smuggler RP, of people that go out there and just bring supplies back and sell the supplies or the final product and all of that, or hire services to do that for them. Um, Drugs can be sold anywhere. It's kind of in the style of Schedule One. Certain random NPCs will have a random like favorite. They'll pay more for a certain amount or a certain weed. They'll pay more for cocaine, or they'll naturally they pay more for cocaine and meth. But there's still the option that they could pay more for weed because that's what they prefer. You can sell them one to a certain amount, and the more you sell to them, the less or the more risk of them saying no. Selling drugs does not give you dirty money. Robberies still give you dirty money. However, if you are in a lethal or not lethal, if you're in some sort of crime that um, bank robberies or that involves stealing money, the money that is on you will be taken for evidence. Weekly transports will still be a thing. Evidence transports will still be a thing. But naturally, if you are arrested for a crime that involves stealing money, any sort of money that is on your person will be taken. We introduced backpacks now. So a normal backpack will fit about the same amount as what you could fit in your pockets. We realized that gold bars weigh a lot, and there's still robberies that give you gold bars. There's a duffel bag that you can acquire and buy just the same way of getting an outfit bag at the clothing store. You will be able to put um, an absurd amount of gold in there. So it has about 1,000 weight in the duffel bag, which would make it required for people who are doing heists where you're going to be receiving enough illegal items where you won't be able to fit it all in your pocket. With the backpacks, there's also a briefcase. Briefcase is meant for smaller transport of things, such as so and so. Group A is making a money deal with Group B. They put money, they get a suitcase, put a password on said suitcase, put however much money in the suitcase, and then make some sort of deal, or just for yourself and put it in there for safekeeping. Backpacks do not stack. Backpacks do not go into one another. Backpacks cannot be held um, multiple in your pockets. You can drop backpacks on the ground, but you cannot store backpacks anywhere. This prevents people from doing some sort of loot stack dupe glitch. When you use the backpack, it's up in your top pockets and it will display on your person as a backpack or a duffel bag or a briefcase. If it's not in your top pockets, You won't be able to access it, and you also won't be able to see it visually. Can you steal someone's backpack if you don't? Yes, you'll still be able to steal someone's backpack. Another thing that's different is this season is phones are unique, meaning my phone can be taken or stolen or given to another individual. That individual can move their phone out of their pockets. That way, when they access the phone, it will bring up my phone. They'll be able to see my contacts. They'll be able to see my messages. They'll be able to see my emails. They'll be able to see whatever I've done on said phone, pictures, all of it. And yes, backpacks, if you're criminal and you have a backpack on you, you've getting caught, you're arrested for whatever crime, your bag will get searched, taken and searched. The civ jobs, we've taken a lot of civ jobs out. Um, Basic ones are still there and updated. They all pay around $5,000 or more for completion. Like the garbage job will pay $5,000 for however fast you complete it. Trucking is anywhere from like, depending on the miles that it gives you, can be anywhere from like $1,000 to $10,000 per delivery. So money, like we talked about in the beginning, should not be something that's an issue or quote unquote a grind. There's always going to be someone who's trying to be the first millionaire, who's trying to be the first billionaire. But besides that, money should be considerably very easy to come across. Because we have the island in play at the beginning with drugs, pistols will be available from the start via the same method. Got to have a weapons license to be able to buy it from ammunition. It will cost a little bit more. And then there's weapon crafting. So going to weapon crafting, crafting in general has changed completely. UI looks a lot nicer. Is also changeable to whatever color you want to match your theme. Um, for example, there's a couple campfires out there that you can find questionable meat and mix it with something to create an edible product. Illegal benches are out there, public benches are out there. There's going to be gun benches, so gangs will not get a personal bench because we're moving away from giving all gangs an MLO. Gangs are that come in, gangs that get developed, gangs that become established will have a block, will have um, an area. So no more gang benches, but there will be weapon benches out there that admins can put out and change on a weekly basis, bi-weekly basis to have, Glock 22, a Glock 22 switch or whatever um, weapons they see fit for that time. Weapons are going to cost money to make. That way there's some sort of market for them. That way there's also a use for money that way money gets spent. The grind on crafting has been taken down immensely. You should be able to get through all the levels you need for said heists, um, pretty easy. We're at just like we're looking at for the money. We don't want it to be a terrible grind. We don't want you to access everything right away off the rip, but we also aren't looking to make people spend a month straight logging in 12, 13, 14 hours a day just to get to level 10. Most all the robberies are still all the same. They've just been updated. ATM robbery being one that was updated has 4 or 5 or I can't remember, or 6 different ways you can break into an ATM now. Depending on which way you break into an ATM will give you different amounts of money. Anything that's acquired illegally, I think besides some house robbery items that you would also find in trash or in the random jobs as rewards for completing the job, those will sell at the pawn shop. In the pawn shop's also a jewelry buyer for when the Evangelico is done and you need to sell all the jewelry. However, now gold bars and other illegal items, there is a black market guy you'll find you'll sell to that individual. Say you have, $300,000 worth of gold bars, you will get $300,000 worth of marked bills. So illegal product becomes illegal money. There's still a wash area. Um, well, we'll just say that washing money is the same as V2. Different areas, but still the same way. Some businesses didn't go over to V3, but there was a lot that got added as well. We moved to a pack of MLOs for via subscription, which made us lose some like Taco Farmer, but we also gained some like senior buns and all of the booths inside of there. Spent a lot of time putting all those businesses together so all of those businesses can be operated, have items to be made and sold. Let's see. Other things that are new. Another thing that's new would be garbage, sifting through garbage, becoming a quote unquote hobo RP. That is something that's new. If one goes down that path, there's a whole like little story thing, missions you can do. You can push your own shopping cart around. You can get inside of a shopping cart. You can push somebody around inside of a shopping cart. There's random um, NPCs around the map where you can do I'm not sure what it's called, but you just basically ride a shopping cart down a hill and there's a whole leaderboard. So it's just like a side thing to do. But all counts towards the quote unquote hobo RP. There's a king hobo. Recyclers are still in. There's one in Roxwood. There's no need for we did not put in a recycling area, recycling center. Materials that you get from garbage, materials that you get from scrapping cars, because we're not going with such a grindy season that we don't see the need to have that much resources or that much material um, areas to just grab. So having the garbage, having the scrapping cars is plenty. Let me think of what else is new. I think your HUD's still the same, so you still need you're still gonna get stress over 125 miles, so that all is the same. Harnesses will still protect you from launching out of your car. EMS gear has not been fixed yet. Uh, VIP properties, right? So if you have a VIP property, if you have VIP vehicles, you still get to keep all of those. We are going to put a 2-week wait on anybody claiming their VIP properties, their VIP houses, vehicles. That way, staff can have some time to enjoy RP, and everyone could just focus on role play rather than getting their assets. And your apartment should all work just fine. You can move your apartment wherever you want. I think there's 4 or 5 different locations. We will eventually put housing up for people, just regular housing for people to buy, but that is not a priority as everyone has hotels that they can move to and use all easily. Weed that you buy from either of the dispensaries, no matter if it's an edible or joint, you'll only need to smoke one of them or eat one of them to get rid of 100% of your stress. The yoga and all that still works as well, does 25%.
Popular question right now is skateboards. Are skateboards going to be kind of like they were last season, or
We haven't put skateboards in yet, but we will put them in. Boss menus changed. So every business, they won't have your normal boss menu that you're used to popping up with just a little box. Now, bosses and managers that have boss access will go to their boss spot and it'll pop up a whole tablet, which you'll be able to see every like logs for people being on duty, people putting money into your business account or out of the business account, as well as inventory going into your business inventory and out of your business inventory. We've made it to where most, if not all, illegal items can't be put into the business inventory, the business stash. How do we go along with getting your jobs back if we're making new sibs? Staff will be around to help get everybody their positions that need it. All business owners can, if you are already a business owner, your business is still here, you should open up a ticket and say, I'm still wanting to run my business. Well, that way we can just go ahead and assign it to you via admin panel. If you were just working for a business, you can have your business owner rehire you. Don't need to make a ticket if you were just working first place. Do you get a local to sell food now? No, no one's getting any locals to sell food. It's still going to be the same way. Gas station's not going to be the best. Campfire food is going to be better than the store, but not as good as getting food from restaurants, from people. Some places didn't make it back. Bowling place was not the bowling alley did not have a enough interest, enough usage for it to be justified at the start of V3. Owners definitely need to make a ticket if you were wanting to get your business back. 5 partner stuff is gone. The partner stuff can come back the same time as the VIP stuff, basically. Paintball will be making a return after we get settled at the start of V3. Racing is still good. Racing is the same. We do not have the casino racetrack anymore as it wasn't getting um, any use after we put in the new ones. So there's still the whole Roxwood racetrack and then the other medium track right next to it. Stomp Gear is still there. Almost all businesses are still there except for just a couple of them, I believe, which would be um, Taco Farmer, Burger Shot, and I think those are the only two actually. I have not put in a clothing store back in the EMS locker room, but I can do that. Now that you guys are talking about gang wars, actually, Burks, I'll let you talk about because you experienced the gang turf and all that stuff, so you can talk about all the gang things now. If anybody doesn't have any questions about just the regular stuff, we can always wrap back around to overall questions also.
Hell yeah. So yeah, we brought back the some of you experienced it, the F9 menu for gangs. That gives you access to do the zone wars, take control of areas. The different areas have different things that you can control, like drug processing, drug harvesting, drug sales. Those are all things that you'll be able to take control over. Um, you need a minimum of 6 members for your gang to be awake to start a zone war. But then at that point, there's no limit to my knowledge because there's no cap on gangs. Um, it's not a red zone, so only gangs are able to see the event going on. They'll have a big zone that pops up in their eyes, basically showing where the zone war is. And you get the notification for it. So all gangs at that point are able to quote unquote defend the zone or try to take control of the zone. Um, the zones work. I do believe it's for kills in the zone, but also being in the zone, like how many gang
Oh,
members you have within the
there's
zone.
no kills, no kill points. It's
Oh,
all
no
time.
kill points, all time. Gotcha. So no kill points, only time based. You do get it's a currency. You get an illegal currency for completing the war or taking control of the zone. So that's cool. Um, I mean, we can discuss 6v6 for gang like slides. I don't expect gangs to be super big off rip, but if it gets to the point of war, wars are determined via tickets. We basically pull both leaders and or top 2 of each gang into a ticket and we discuss kind of terms and they go over it, make sure everybody agrees, and we'll probably schedule those on the island now because that'll be away from jurisdiction, away from potential citizens getting hurt all that stuff.
And at that point, you almost don't need to completely schedule a or open a ticket for war if your 2 different gangs are their leaders are already capable of talking to each other and be like, "Hey, we're meeting on the island at this and this so time." Like, you guys can have that war because it's out of jurisdiction. Police, EMS, they're not gonna be affected by people who are out there fighting. They're also not gonna service people who are out there fighting. But, I mean, if there's I guess, in terms of, "Oh, if we win this war, you gotta pay us money." If you guys need, I guess, written proof for that part, like, "You guys owe us this much money and this many guns,"
Yeah.
then yeah, I can understand the needing a ticket.
Can PD still roll up to gang attacks to try and de-escalate and arrest? Yeah,
Uh,
I would assume
yeah,
so.
the ones as long as it's on the city or, I mean,
Right.
on the main island.
If it's on the illegal island where there's no jurisdiction, then PD and EMS should not be attending that island whatsoever, realistically. Um, but yeah, we can discuss the 6v6. I'll make a little gang Bible announcement if that's the case. I did update the gang Bible too. Everybody can pull that up and take a look if you choose. All the highlighted areas are new for V3, so those are really the most important ones. Everything else is the same. So, yeah, not too much has changed on the gang side other than that. Gangs themselves are only able to own one business of each category now. So it's not two per gang; it's one per category. So you can own mechanic shop, a food place, a health technically because we have the dispensaries, and then entertainment, the club or something along those
Or
lines.
bar, yeah.
Any other gang specific questions? All previous gangs that did say they were moving over to V3 will be able to move over to V3 as they were. MCs, we will be giving you the money for your bikes. So just make a ticket for that and we can schedule a time to do that.
What about admin gangs or gangs and admins?
Contract tablets, unfortunately, are disabled. We were having some issues with everything working properly with those in on the new framework.
There's a lot of talk last season about gangs and admins in gangs. So this season, an admin staff member can still be a part of a gang, but they can't have a gang can't have more than one staff member in their organization, in their gang. Is there anything gonna happen for people that will dump their personal car on purpose and we can impound them without releasing the later? Because technically they destroyed the car. So what you do, retrieve the car, impound it for longer, and then you can pull the car out of impound. You'll be able to search the car once you pull it out of impound, and then you can put it back into impound after you do your investigation from pulling it out. You've never seen staff abuse anything? That's kind of restrict people playing with their friends. How does having one staff per gang restrict people from playing with their friends?
Realistically, I think staff has a lot of different paths now anyway, so it's not. I don't think it'll be the worst. I think that for whatever reason, a lot of the staff did kind of have the same storyline for a while, and I think it'll be good to see everybody kind of branch out and get different views of the city. And realistically, it just helps the whole city at the end of the day because there's more eyes on everything going on.
Yep, it helps that all, and it helps, with the non-bias. A lot of people like to point fingers and say things are unfair, and it's easy to say it's unfair when this gang's got 5 admins in it. This helps us basically get rid of that, and it's not to say that admins can't be in gangs or admins have to be leaders of gangs. It's just to help even out the field and also get rid of, uh, um, unwanted, unneeded bias. Along with going with the you're impounding the car for longer if they water dump it. So we're kind of this season's goal is to be a little bit more lax, a little bit more relaxed on rules, so you guys can enjoy having fun, but also enjoy making stories. Have more time to do that. That's why shooting for cars is now a thing, as long as it's appropriate to the story. VDM and RDM are still bad, just as any case in any role play server. We are allowing criminals to steal police cars. The consequence of stealing a police car is the same as killing a cop. If you get caught stealing a cop car, you're going to be getting 1,200 months
Robbing a bank in a cop
on
car.
on
Holy
top
shit!
of whatever else crime is that you get. So if you're just out there to have fun and you just steal a cop car and you get caught for stealing a cop car, minimum 12 your minimum is going to get 1,200 months. You still have the same jail system. You still can work jobs, random jobs to work your time off, and the more jobs you do, the more time you get off, like I get like bonus time off. You cannot steal EMS vehicles. EMS are still the one area which is untouchable. Do you guys have any other questions, other concerns? Currently, there's no boosting tablet, but the racing tablet will be available. You cannot buy a wheelchair. When can we expect V3? So that's the last topic we're going to go over is when are we going to jump into V3? Staff's been working nonstop trying to get this ready. There's been quite a few of you guys who have been helping out and testing things, and I really appreciate that. Getting everything ready for the launch. We did move to a new server build. So before we were on 28 something. Now we're on 3095. Basically changes only a little bit of things, um, some functions in the city, but also brings in some regular vanilla vehicles that we didn't have before.
There's some cool ones too. Wait till you see them.
But we have DOJ. If we have the people that want to do it and actually stick with it, yeah. The F1 cars they're still the same. They're still in there. Same cars from V2 available in V3. Anything that we've additionally added to the city vehicle wise is still there. Any other questions or things that you guys might have for V3? And then we can decide as a community, as all you guys came in, when we want to get V3 launched. Staff's worked hard up to this point to get it ready. Staff's already made their characters. Some staff has already gone in to make their characters. Are we going to get a purge for V2? Someone asked that. Or and my thought was it would be kind of pointless to say, yeah, we can have a purge in V2, but then there's only two, three, four, or five people that show up. I understand people not wanting to fly into the main city because we were working and getting V3 ready. V2 was just a broken mess. It's been around for a year and a half, more than a year and a half. We started November of 2023. Same framework from that point all the way until now. Things were just getting broken. Anything we added, anything we tried to update was just getting broken. So that's why we just had to go to a new updated, fresh framework. Still QB core, but completely updated, completely fresh. None of the issues that you have had in V2 are present in V3. At least none that we've found while we had everybody in there testing. Well, head pops are kind of different for everybody. Some people can experience a lot of head pops, and some people can experience near to none. Pockets fixed, yes, it's still the same inventory, but you're not going to be losing anything. All these same, all the same weapons are in. We got that weapon pack for V2. Though all of the Glock Demon and all those are still in. All the regular weapons are still like vanilla weapons are still there, obviously, but we do have the DLC weapons ready. Yes, you should still. Yeah, I haven't. It's still keep everything when you die. Food and drinks do not stack. PD cameras not connected to Discord. Food will not be stackable. Food will still have a life on it. We are not gonna go into the habit of having people have 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 plus food items in their trunk, avoiding a restaurant at all cost. Pockets are all default. They're all normal. Same with vehicles. We're not gonna go down the route of giving everybody a million pocket space. Just mean people gotta be on duty. I agree. There's also, in that Senior Buns food court area, besides Senior Buns itself, I believe there's 7 or 8 different, food stalls. All are working, all have a business attached to it, all have a small menu attached to it. Getting them food places to answer the phone was a problem. Well, we'll we'll start up the, Better Business Bureau, and those businesses that don't answer their phone will find new ownership. I mean, with the food court, you might not have to call people. If those food stalls get opened up and owned, you might go there for Senior Buns, but it's not open. You see the sushi stalls open. Legion Square currently is gonna be the same. We might end up changing the way Benny's is, which will open up other option to we got a really nice Legion Square to put in there. Unfortunately, we couldn't get it working in time to put it in right now, but it is the Legion Square that extends it over to PD. It's we do wanna get it in there. It is a bummer. Sometimes you get things for cities, sometimes you buy MLOs or scripts, and you're, hoping you could just put it in there and it works right away, and unfortunately, sometimes that's not the case. The, impound lot that was right there next to Benny's is no longer there. The SADOT building, up at the Sandy entrance is where the impound is. Along next to, there's still the original impound, I believe, on Davis. Going into V3, by the way, you guys are all welcome to use the same characters that you had. However, and know the same people. We're not going to limit you on who you know coming into the city. That's kind of like forcing someone to bring a brand new person when they've had a character for 4 years in every city that they've gone to. So if that's your character, that's more than welcome to be your character forever in Vibe City as well. When new seasons start, this isn't gonna be our last season. So when new seasons start, that means new stories start, means new beef start, means new friendships can start. There's no, enemies basically. There's no reason that I need to go person A needs to go attack and rob and kill person B over and over and over because there's really no beef that they have in that city. Can you make it you don't have to. I've perfectly you can drive up to the pump with, 4 character steps in between you and the pump, and you can pump your car. You don't have to scrape your car getting next to it. No groping emotes. Currently, the petrol stations are still the same. In the future, we can definitely look into setting that up. So, our plan with V3 is not to be pushing constant updates like we did with V2, changing and breaking things throughout the process. We will still have a developer city that we're still gonna work on, but as for what we launch with V3, once we let everybody in, that's what will and, like, besides minor fixes here or there, adding a garage or whatnot, that this is what we'll play with for, you know, months until we are ready to push some kind of nice update. Can we still only have one job? Yes, you're still only one job. We are still focusing and trying to be a role play city over a GTA online city. Shouldn't have one person running around doing every single business, not needing to contact anybody. Any other little questions here or there, concerns? The server restarts will be the same every 6 hours for it helps with server performance. And then we can discuss when do you guys think when would you guys like to go in to V3? Should we start it tonight? Should we start it tomorrow? Should we start it Tuesday, Wednesday? Oh, Burks did a thing there vote on his poll. You pin that?
I don't know how.
I don't think you can actually. If you're just listening and you haven't popped open the town hall chat box yet on Discord, there's a vote thing up there. You can vote. Should we launch the server ASAP or should we launch the server this week? I know a lot of people have been waiting for it to happen. B2 hasn't had any, besides a few people at nighttime, come in there.
I'd say if anything, the only things that are quote unquote needed for the city are very minor things, if any at all. It's ready to go. It's ready to, have the citizens that get in there, explore things, see what's new, get a feel for it.
Yep, dealerships should be stocked with vehicles
Mm-hmm.
already. So if you own a dealership, you won't have to put money in to buy your cars. Your stock's already there. However, your bank Our society fund's gonna start at 0 because you already have stock,
Yep.
which reminds me, um, Sanders still has to be, um, changed in the on the society amount.
Actually, I didn't ask about mechanic shops. Do we want to give them a little bit of money just for the start?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll load all mechanic shops with a
Are we
hundred
gonna need
thousand.
'Kay. Are we going to need new role join No, I just need to turn the Vibe City role on to whitelist. Yes, raised tablets are the same. Our motorcycle business is gonna be open this season. We do expect our business owners to spend time in the city. We don't charge anybody to run businesses. We don't charge anybody to, um, run gangs. We literally only have VIP vehicles, in houses, which, are still available to people who don't put down money. We still do events. We still are gonna have random, giveaways to where you can get yourself a VIP vehicle. So we do expect people who want to own a business or run a business in the city to at least show the city, the respect of being in. If a business is owned by somebody and they aren't putting in time, they're never around. If they have, you know, a manager that can step in and actually help them out with that, I don't see any issues in there because people do have real life. People do have, things that they have to do outside of a video game, and no one should be held accountable for that, um, or limited in city for that. But if the business is not getting ran, despite what happens, the reason for not being in city, we will look for getting someone in that position so it can be ran properly to service the city. So if you're not a business owner right now, um, basically wait till everybody's in the city, and then if you see a business that does not have an owner, we'll update the city planning. You can inquire on being an owner of said business. But like I said, we don't require any money for businesses being ran. We just require you to spend time in the city. So if you're brand new to the city, we're still going to require you to put in a couple weeks showing us that you are interested in being a part of the city, and then you can inquire about having whatever business it is. And remember, if you're working at a business already, you don't need to put a ticket in. You just need to wait until your boss or the business owner gets a hold of the business. Going into V3 also, if you know one of our characters, one of the staff members' characters, please, please go to a ticket to ask for whatever help you need with whatever problem you see. Do not go in and use your character to address said problem or said concern. Handle
Please.
all of that stuff outside in Discord. Staff are going to be able to have multiple character slots. Staff completely can have a character that is basically a staff character. If you see said staff character, then it would be appropriate. However, that's not going to be something that you will see very likely, as they'll only be invisible when they're on their staff characters. So let's just try to make the habit of any sort of staff help start in Discord. Let's say someone has the first name they did in V2, but their last name is changed. Does that require him to be considered new? The only thing that is new in V3 are the stories, the quote unquote beefs, the quote unquote some quote unquote friendships. People move to cities together all the time. They already have a friendship before they even start in a city. So we're not going to limit people on who they know. However, stories, conflicts, beefs, or any sort of city interactions are starting fresh. So even if you're Billy Joe or Billy Mo, you will still have fresh stories to go off of. If you make a new character, can you transfer your Bay Area to that? Yes. So if you're a business owner, but you're going to be a new character, you can still be new character and have your business. If you haven't voted yet, there's a message up top. Brooks, can you reply to it again? City economy went up, I take it, since money isn't a big grind. Correct. So basically, money's not going to be the biggest concern. However, criminals will be spending more of their money that they get. Robberies are going to pay out more, but criminals making money or and when I say criminals, that's gang members and that's also people who consider themselves civs. If you're a civ and you're doing house robberies, you're still a criminal. If you're a civ and you're owning illegal guns to hold somebody up, but you're not doing anything else besides robbing somebody here and there, you're still a criminal. So criminal assets are still going to cost money. There's no city taxes per se. We will find more things to spend regular civ money on that people that don't do any sort of crime. We have tried to put in things into crafting to where crafting will cost money to make said item. That way, someone's not just completely stacking millions and millions and millions. What about fishing? Fishing's still there. Fishing and trucking still there. Prices have gone up a little bit. It's not going to be where you can stack an infinite amount of fish in your pocket. Pockets are not going to change. Your The weight of your pockets aren't going to change. The amount of slots in your pocket aren't going to change. Taxi is not in yet. Drugs, drugs still benches and not plug. Drugs are crafted from either benches or uh, static spots, static locations. Because there's more than just a bench. Like say cocaine to make make it go from a cocaine to a brick, you'd have to press it. So there's instead of a bench, there would be a press out there. Weed is the same way. You're going to need to find a weed bench. Every shop inside the beach market that's a weed shop has been set with a weed table to where you can craft weed. Weed is still legal up to a certain amount. Is there still a level system for crafting? Yes. So crafting completely changed. There still is a level system for crafting because we have all of the same heist. They all were updated, but they still have progression and items you need for each different heist. Bobcat still being the end heist. There's levels to the crafting bench. However, we're not looking to make things a crazy grind. So there's certain items that you can craft that will give you, 100 plus XP per item, and there's a few thousand in between, like a few thousand XP in between levels. So you craft 10, 20, 30 items, you're going up in a level rather than before you're spending an entire day crafting before you got up a level. No, so gangs are not getting gang benches. The reason being is that we're gonna going forward, all the MLOs, all the um, compounds that we currently have, minus the Azteca one right now, um, we're gonna go with what we have. Instead, and we're still inviting more gangs, people who are gonna be new to start a gang. We're gonna give them a block or 2 blocks or whatever, a quote unquote turf, and a VIP, well, basically like a VIP building there. The reason being, and that'll be like a gang house, and the reason being is so PD will still be able to go in and, when the story leads to it, raid said gang's property. But doing this allows us to bring in more gangs without having us bring in more assets, more MLOs that will cause people to have more headaches, worse performance. We did go down from like 472 resources down to like 320. Beautiful profile. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Harrison. Performance felt good. Yes. So everyone that was able to jump in and help test for before we were ready to go in here said it worked great. Obviously, the more people you have on the city, the more you'll see a little bit in performance drop, but hopefully it won't be anything like V2. Make sure you vote on when we want V3 to go. I'm pretty sure it's going to be ASAP.
Yeah, it's currently 73, 74% to 26% ASAP.
Bitch or Geo or Ninja Girl, can you check the Sanders dealership money?
I can.
I've already done it.
It's already out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Can
already out.
you, while you're in there, can you give all mechanics $1,000? $100,000?
Yeah. Oh, that's fine.
Wait, is it dropping today? It might be dropping tonight. Yeah. But key things that we want to make sure we remember less of a grind, more stories. We're still going for interactions before any sort of lethal conflict going on. We are allowing shooting from vehicles, but that doesn't mean this is, gang versus gang war nonstop. Purple gang shouldn't be going to war with green gang every single day. If some gang rolls up on another gang and you both have pistols out, that doesn't just mean start shooting right away. Build a story from that. Try to talk it out. Try to have some sort of character development from there rather than just shooting right away, rather than just gunning each other down. Same same clothing outfit, or same clothing, yes, from V2 what we ended with. We might update later on halfway down the season, or maybe if we go into V4, the one of the first clothing packs we bought is slowly starting getting updated. So maybe we'll go back to that one later on down the road, but that's not something we're gonna do soon. Are gangs allowed to frame EMS, like taking an item that they use to maybe, let's say, blow up a PD car? I don't know what item a EMS is using to blow up any kind of car, but no, the nobody is messing with EMS. PD ranks are still the same as what they were. There's still the same departments as well, and there's still the same all the same available ranks that we had in V2. EMS are not to be messed with, meaning that there's you have nothing to worry about crime-wise on EMS. However, that doesn't mean EMS is going out and robbing things and blowing shit up. But nobody outside of EMS is to be doing illegal things to EMS. EMS will always remain the saints of the city. Did the Silent Skulls clothing work? I'd have to see if Spec put it in with what we have. If he hasn't, then it's not in there. If he has, then it is. No combat medics. Combat medics are not a thing. I mean, they could be out there in the army, but this is a role play city, so there's going to be no combat medics. If an EMS wants to get into conflict, they can join up on PD. PD always needs numbers. Can mechanics be taken as a hostage as long as they're not on duty? There's always going to be there's in a perfect world, we're hopefully not having somebody roll up and be like, "Hey, buddy, we need a hostage. I need to take you." You know, you want to take someone who doesn't know who it is as a hostage, but we'll, it's you'll never get away from somebody, being a hostage at their own will to their friends, and that's fine. So as long as you're playing the role, you can take whoever hostage. When can we expect to move into V3? The poll is up above.
I think it's pretty cut and dry, sir. 76 to 24.
I think so
Uh,
as well.
before you look at making it live, can you check the staff chat for what I just put in there?
Yeah.